Some more musical. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, report it. Don't take law in your hands for the right authority. Then you can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human talking, you check. You work for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. No part of report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it before them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it before them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Robbie, what are you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Dad, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh, no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion, jump until the break of dawn. Exodus Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Garland Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Easy, when you want some more, I provide. So we start on top. Come on, I'm going deep and deeper. Put in total each that living sense in her.
Let's say a pleasant good morning and welcome to the program from the Print News, the Wednesday edition. Wendell Nimne, and I'd like to welcome all of you following us on our online platform. That's www.Freedom Radio Liberia. And also those of you watching us on our Facebook feed, we want to welcome you to this edition of the show. And all of you by your receivers this morning, welcome, and let's have a great time as we bring you trending stories making headlines in the country. Let's go over to Esther Daco. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning to the good people of Liberia. It's good to be here on a midweek edition of the program from the Print News. I'm glad I'm able to make my input.
All right. So before we go into the readings, as usual, we're going to be bringing you the online versions of Front Page Africa and the Daily Observer newspaper. Yesterday, we had the family of the little girl who was sodomized and raped by the 6-year-old girl who was sodomized and raped by a 48-year-old man who is currently behind bars at the Monrovia Central Prison. So we got some update later from the family that the little girl was taken to the hospital yesterday at the JFK. And what they said to them was that the drugs that is needed to, for her medication is not in the country. So she was referred to a doctor, and the family went to the doctor. The doctor, had scheduled them for this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So they will be going to the doctor this morning, and then from there they will give us updates. So that's the current situation of the little girl as we speak, Esther.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So I think that's good news for, it's good that she's been given the attention.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to say thanks again to all of you who yesterday contributed. We appreciate you. We want to, say to you, may God increase you in everything that you put your hands into.
Exactly.
Just by identifying with that little girl on yesterday, it means a lot. So I want to say
course.
thanks to all of you.
Yeah, and Wendell will also let him know about the progress.
Yeah, so true. So
We'll give
true.
you
So we'll keep
step-by-step progress
updating
of-
them. Yeah, we'll definitely do. So that's it. That's it. Right. Okay. So this morning, let me give Esther the chance since today is the midweek, and today is somebody said Ladies' Day. So Esther will
Who made-
begin the reading today.
Okay.
All right. So let's hear from you from the Daily Observer.
Okay, this morning on from the Daily Observer, we have this top story here. Says, "Oh Nimba, tradition, power, and battle for progress." It is right here, and as we all know, Nimba is about to do a by-election to fill in the vacancy of the late Prince Yomi Johnson. But let's take some lines from this story. As Nimba County braces for a high-stakes senatorial by-election, the race to replace the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson has become more than just a matter of political succession. It is a test of values, identity, and direction for one of Liberia's most influential counties. The battle between the two front runners, Nimba County District 5 Representative Samuel Kogar and former Superintendent Edith Gonglo Rare has revealed tensions long buried beneath the surface: tradition versus progress, tribal alliance versus inclusive governance, and a as a disturbing undercurrent of mythology that threatens to distort the democratic process. Mm. Senior senator known for his controversial past and political dominance left behind a legacy that shaped Nema's role in national politics. His influence was unraveled, his authority unquestioned. So it is no surprise that his death triggered a wave of political posturing, with traditionalists and politicians alike scrambling to stake a claim to his symbolic and strategic inheritance. Among the contenders, Reb Koga, a relative of the late senator, is positioning himself as a heir, imagine, as a heir apparent, even invoking traditional rites performed at Johnson's funeral as evidence of his legitimacy. But what began as a debate over qualifications have, has have devolved into an alarming cultural argument. Koga invoking traditional beliefs claims that if Ozo died, especially as a man, his replacement can only be a man. This is not just an opinion. It's a campaign strategy rooted in exclusion and gender base or gender bias. As it all also rather ignorant posturing and a slap in the face to the Constitution, which guarantees equal political participation regardless of gender. Also, there will never be another PYJ, at least not in this generation. Let's face it, most elections in Liberia are swayed more by the tribal affiliation of candidates than by their version and competency about the issues that should help move the constituency forward. In spite of its perceived powers in Liberia's political and economic landscape, Nima County has yet to grasp the Holy Grail, the Liberian presidency. And with this mindset of misogyny, there's no wonder why you cannot lead a diverse nation when your worldwide is defined by a gender stereotype and tribal supremacy. Ironically, Koga's attempt to gatekeep Johnson's legacy stands in direct contradiction to the late senator's own political record. Johnson, who once proclaimed himself as the godfather of Nema, twice endorsed Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the first woman to become president of Liberia and the African continent. A PYJ saw no conflict between his traditions and supporting a woman for the nation's highest office, why now it is certainly unthinkable for a woman to occupy a senatorial seat for Nema County. Edith Gonglo Rare is no stranger to leadership. As a former Nema superintendent, she possesses first-hand knowledge of the county's administrative and developmental challenges. Her brother, Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, has publicly endorsed her campaign, arguing persuasively, on a representation of for broader geographical and gender representation in the Senate. Gonglo has even cited the underrepresentation of districts like Yawin, Mesonon, and Glawit Gang as justification for supporting Weir, not simply because she's his sister, but because of her record and what she represents for Nema's future. Still, her campaign has not been without controversy. There are claims and counterclaims that the Liberia People's Party, of which her brother political leader has endorsed her candidacy for the senatorial seat. Apparently, not all partisans agree. Some perceive that the political leader, is using his influence to promote his sister's candidacy outside formal party processes. But none of that changes the central point. The contestant should be about qualifications and vision, not gender or tribal lineage. I agree with that. And let's run up to more stories this morning. We have a lot of stories here. Ambassador Brown presents credentials to UN Secretary General Guterres. This is right here. You grab a copy, or visit the website of the Daily Observer and read that story. Full Liberian girls accepted as Yali Young African Scholars Class of 2025. That's good news for her. Let's see some more here. How Summers police IG over lawmakers' lawlessness. I'm interested in this one. Let's see some lines. The House of Representatives has summoned the Inspector General of the Liberian National Police over a traffic citation issued to one of its members, Rep. Anthony F. Williams of Electoral District 2, Maryland County. The legislative summons detailed in an official letter from the chief clerk accused police officers of exhibiting a disrespectful posture during their encounter with the lawmaker. On Monday, March 25, 2025, Superintendent Marvin Gaye, a traffic officer on routine patrol, stopped a vehicle without license plate. Upon investigation, he discovered that the unregistered vehicle belonged to Rep. Williams. Following standard procedures, Gray issued a traffic citation. However, sources indicate that Rep. Williams immediately contacted senior police officials and demanded the presence of the police inspector general at the Capitol building. During a meeting that included more than 15 lawmakers, strong objections were raised regarding the traffic stop. The legislators argued that elected officials should be granted exemption from such regulations due to security concerns. Additionally, they expressed strong disapproval of the police force used of body cameras, calling them a gross disrespect.
Does it mean that the lawmakers should drive
Interesting.
without a license plate?
It means they're above the law. That's the
No,
meaning of it.
no.
And let's see more lines. It says that I think we're done with that. In response to Rep. Williams' complaint, the House of Representatives issued an official summons to the police inspector general and two of his deputies to appear before the August body on March 31, 2025. The letter signed by the chief clerk, Mildred N. Massillon, states, "Dear Inspector General, I present compliments and by directive of the leadership of the Honorable House of Representatives, invite you along with two of your deputies to its meeting scheduled on Monday, March 31st, 2025 at 10 a.m. Honorable Inspector General, the leadership is keen on a complaint from Honorable Anthony F. Williams, Representative District number 2, Maryland County, outlining an encounter with Mr. Nelson Freeman, 102, and Marvin Gray, indicating an alleged disrespectful posture despite clearly identifying himself as the people's deputy. In view of the above, sir, you are kindly requested to come along with the named officers to address this alleged confrontation with Honorable Williams. Violating traffic rules, many believe, is a normal thing for members of the legislature. It can be recalled Representative Momo Siafa Poto of Lofa County District 3 was early last month involved in a traffic standoff around the YWCA junction in Congo Town after insisting on using a tail lane at the expense of other vehicles that were rightfully using the opposite lane. Poto's vehicle, a government-assigned car with a license plate Honorable 25, was coming from Central Monrovia, while the other vehicle that was immediately opposite him was traveling from Pinsfield, insisted on not giving him way, a situation that caused a huge traffic congestion in the area for hours. Officers of the Liberian National Police arrived on the scene and repeatedly urged the lawmaker to abide by the traffic law, but he refused, insisting that he must have his way. A lawless Liberia. But let's leave you there and look at more stories this morning. That was posted 4 hours ago. And this one says Liberia financial system under review. Okay, the Liberia financial system is under review. Is one of the stories here. Embattled Speaker Kofa defends legitimacy. When I'm interested in this one, it was posted 4 hours ago. Let's quickly run some lines. Amid intensifying political turmoil and mounting calls for his removal, Embattled Speaker of the House of Representatives, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, has issued a defiant response to his detractor, emphasizing the need for adherence to democratic principles rather than political opportunism. Kofa has consistently affirmed his commitment to the rule of law, stating unequivocally that he will vacate his position should a constitutional threshold for removal of 49 votes be met. However, he condemned what he described as an attempt to rewrite the rules to serve vested political interest. As I have said before, if 49 of my colleagues come together in a chamber and say, Mr. Speaker, for this reason, we don't want you, I will step down that very same day. We will not even go to court or challenge it, Kofa declared. But democracy is built on a foundation of laws and procedures, not political convenience. Speaking in an interview with Africa Young Voices over the weekend, Speaker Kofa warned against what he sees as deliberate efforts to destabilize the House of Representatives, arguing that such actions threaten the credibility of Liberia's democratic institutions. He underscored that while it takes 37 lawmakers to elect a speaker, it requires 49 votes to remove one, an intentional safeguard to prevent arbitrary political interference. There is a reason why it takes 37 to elect a speaker or 49 to remove him, Kofa stated. The Constitution and the framework recognize that there is an attack on this branch of government that is destabilizing. The only people who will tell you everything is fine for now are those people who got their buried head in the sand, and are those who want to pretend that all is well. But the entire world has now focused on this issue, and this problem in the House is destabilized. Kofa also rebuked those seeking to claim the Speaker's position without proper legislative endorsement, calling their actions illegitimate and damaging to national stability. There is someone running around calling himself Speaker seeking recognition that has not been granted, he remarked. You cannot create your own reality and expect legitimacy. The legislature is not functioning as it should, and yet some choose to pretend that all is well. Responding to the calls for him to step down for the sake of national peace, Kofa firmly rejected the notion, arguing that constitutional order must be the priority. Why not uphold the rules of the Constitution in the House of Representatives for the sake of the country? He asked. Why is the removal of the Speaker the most urgent item on your agenda? Why not prioritize education, healthcare, women's empowerment, or strengthening the rule of law? Kofa, a prominent political figure in Liberia, has been at the center of a significant conflict related to his removal from the position of Speaker of the House of Representatives. The conflict of his removal began to unfold when a faction within the legislature, along with some constituents, expressed dissatisfaction with Kofa leadership allegation of mismanagement and failure to address critical issues fueled calls for his removal. Various accusations related to corruption, misuse of office, and failure to fulfill campaign promises were leveled against him for the galvanizing opposition. Following mounting pressure, calls for Kofa impeachment grew louder. Legislative procedures were initiated to formalize the process of his removal, resulting in heated debates within the House. On Thursday, October 17, 2024, lawmakers turned out to sign a resolution to remove him while preparing to meet Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, in the Italian capital of Rome on October 18. Of the 73 representatives, 49 appended their signatures to the resolution. The protest was interrupted by other lawmakers who supported retaining Kofa as Speaker of the 55th National Legislature. The tension led a bar between representatives supporting both plots, which damaged the doors of the main chamber of the House of Representatives, while some factions expressed dissatisfaction with his leadership and pushed for impeachment. Others remain in support of Kofa. The process of his potential removal have sparked heated debates and physical altercations among lawmakers, further highlighting divisions within the legislature. We will have to stop you here. You just visit the online or the website of Daily Observer, and the story is right here. And Wendell, I think that's all of the stories
Okay.
that I have this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Esther Daku, for bringing us those trending stories from the Daily Observer online version. So let's get to another online version. This time around is the Front Page Africa newspaper. So we will just take few stories from here. We will definitely do. So I'm trying to get to the online version of the Front Page Africa newspaper. This internet, please start acting on me this morning. All right, so folks, I'm trying to do all I can. The internet is still misbehaving. Right, this internet, okay, I'm getting there. It's getting prepped up. 1, 2, 3, 4, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, let's go. Oh Lord. Internet. Everything in this country is a challenge. LEC challenge, water challenge, commercial transportation challenge, to eat challenge, internet challenge. Not small thing, Liberia. Well, we just got to keep praying for our country. All right. No, none of us here beyond these microphones wish evil for this country. We all just want to see good things happening for our country so that the generation to come will not have any blame on us today. All right. But if we cannot set the foundation for them, the generation to come will blame us tomorrow. Well, let me get to my first story here, and it has to do with the regime speaker. Debt court orders seizure of majority bloc speaker Richard Cohn's properties and threatens arrest for non-compliance. You're listening? This is the debt court ordering the seizure of majority bloc speaker Richard Cohn's properties and threatens arrest for non-compliance. And let's get few lines. The debt court for Montserrat County has issued a writ of attachment against the Speaker of the Majority Bloc, Richard Namwe Cohn, ordering the seizure of his assets following a debt claim filed by his wife, Madame Cecilia Paul Cohn. The legal dispute stems from a lawsuit in which Madame Cohn is seeking to recover $38,500 from the lawmaker, her husband, and the case has quickly become a topic of significant public attention. Mrs. Cohn alleges that her husband had failed to properly account for rental income generated from their jointly owned property in the Unity Conference Center, Virginia, Montserrat County. The couple, married for 25 years, purchased and developed the land in 2004, creating 5 duplexes with a total of 10 apartments, which they then used for rental purposes since 2007. However, Mrs. Cohn claims she has received no clear information about the income generated from these properties. In the court documents, Mrs. Cohn alleges that despite their mutual agreement to rent the property for family support, her husband has refused to provide any accounting for the rental income or disclose how the proceeds were used. Over the years, Mrs. Cohn has made repeated requests from transparency only for transparency only to be met with resistance from her husband, including an instance in 2015 where he reportedly instructed her to go directly to the tenants to obtain receipts for rental payments. The legal proceedings escalated when the debt court issued the rate of attachment on March 31, 2024, compelling the acting sheriff to seize all identifiable properties identifiable properties belonging to Representative Cohn to cover the outstanding debt and court costs. This legal action is particularly significant given Cohn's prominent role as an elected representative of Montserrat County District 11 and Speaker of the Majority Bloc. As part of the court's instructions, assets such as vehicles, equipment, and funds belonging to Representative Cohn are to be taken into custody. Esther, are you listening?
I am.
All right. So you're listening, oh my people. The court is saying that as per the court's instruction, assets such as vehicles, equipment, and funds belonging to Representative Cohn are to be taken into custody with the possibility of his arrest if he fails to produce sufficient assets to cover the debt. Why? Some legal experts see the court's
Interesting.
actions as an important message that no one, including politicians, is above the law. Others are concerned that this case may be influenced by political motivations. The case is further complicated by the personal nature of the dispute, which involves accusations of financial misconduct between a married couple. Mrs. Cohn, in her lawsuit, has stated that her husband had single-handedly managed their joint property without her involvement, even going as far as excluding her from knowledge of the tenants and rental income. The lack of transparency and accountability, she argues, has caused significant tension within their marriage and prompted her to seek legal recourse. At present, Rep. Cohn has not publicly responded to the court's decision, but the debt court has instructed the sheriff to return a report on the actions taken by April 10, 2024. So, folks, that's it. It's not easy. The battle continues with
38,500. That's not much money for you.
Yeah,
You pay that money.
Cohn, you got that money.
I'm saying,
Get that money.
don't can't disgrace yourself. Yeah, pay that money.
Cohn pay it. That one there, you know that the people marry business, but the people where you reach now in the public. Once it has come to the public here, there is no way we can, dodge it, because we were not the one who put finger in the woman's throat to say.
And when
good
I
report.
am sure she was really very tired.
Mhm.
You know, when you have
Cohn is
issues,
if you know Cohn is a very arrogant guy.
Okay.
He got
so when
attitude.
you act like you want to show that you get power,
Yeah,
other people will tell you they will use the law too.
Yeah,
because
so-
when it gets to the public, it becomes a disgrace.
exactly.
Because why are you not accounting for the money? It's not only for
for
you.
you,
This is something that you acquire way back when you never even had anything.
Yeah,
you
yeah, myself,
didn't even know
Yeah.
you at the time. So
we
I
put
mean-
together, we build the properties.
you are a speaker. The money you're getting right now, aren't you enjoying it?
We're gonna speak up. You calling him speaker?
The
I
man,
know
the man is the speaker for the majority black. The man is operating. You
Yeah.
saw him at Arizona. People
Yeah.
respected him there. So what will I say?
I know, right? Some of people that
Akwaka speaker.
the Mrs. Cecilia Paul Cohn, the wife of Richard Cohn.
And I'm told they were.
Yes, 25 years.
Are they on separation? Because
don't
I don't think
know.
they'll be living in the same house.
Oh, it's
Between
possible. It's possible they
Well-
live in the same house and still have legal issues until the court can come out and say, okay, Mr. Regime Speaker, try and find a place for the woman to stay. Since you don't want a woman and blah 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 blah. But anyway, this too is Liberia.
No, is it about finding place for her to be?
No,
I'm
I
sure
mean,
she's capable of
no,
finding where to be, but he
no.
has to account for the money,
They
the
get the
property.
woman concerned now.
Mhm.
Since 2007, we've been renting out these properties. They got 10 apartments.
Mhm.
10
Unity
apartments.
Conference Center
Unity
area.
Conference, that's somewhere
South
around the
Africa.
area where I live.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's the situation, my people. Let's get to more stories because of time. We can take one more story from the front page, Africa newspaper. All right. Says Senate Security Chair blames bad contracts for Liberia setbacks, urges leaders to prioritize citizens' interests. And who is the Senate Security Chair, the owner and proprietor of the SIGA Security, that's Momo Saras, has criticized the role of past leaders in Liberia's ongoing social economic challenges, attributing the country's backwardness to poorly negotiated contracts and the concessions that prioritize personal gain over the nation's interests. As chairman of the Senate Committee on National Defense, Security, Intelligence, and Veteran Affairs, Senator Cyrus spoke out about the negative impact these deals have had on Liberia's development. During an appearance on the OK Morning Road show on Tuesday, April 1, the Lofa County Senator emphasized that despite Liberia's vast natural resources, including gold and diamonds, the country remains underdeveloped. He specifically pointed to contracts such as APM terminals, Western Cluster, and the agreements with the Bureau of Immigration and Naturalizations as examples of bad deals that were made to satisfy the interests of few rather than the people of Liberia. Cyrus expressed disappointment that, despite the signing of these contracts, Liberia has not seen economic progress expected from its wealth. He called for a thorough review of these agreements to ensure that Liberia and its citizens receive a fair share of the country's resources. It is unacceptable for foreigners to control the provision of resident permits in Liberia, he said, stressing that the interests of Liberians must be prioritized in any contract. Renegotiations, he also pointed to the disconnect between the wealth of the country and the poverty of its citizens, attributing this to poor governance and exploitative contracts signed by the past leaders. In his critique of the legislature, of the legislative and executive branches, Senator Cyrus urged his colleagues to act with political courage and prioritize national interests over personal benefit when negotiating future contracts. He also acknowledged the challenges within the Senate, but commended efforts to review and renegotiate past agreements that have harmed Liberia's development. The bad contracts signed in the past have pulled this country down, he said. This has to stop if Liberia is to move forward. We must prioritize the people's interests and not personal aggrandizement. Cyrus expressed embarrassment that 177 years after its founding, Liberia remains one of the poorest countries in the world. He vowed to continue using his position in the Senate to advocate for change and improve the living conditions of Liberians, both in his country and across the country. Well, folks, those are all the stories we can share with you this morning on
Right.
this edition of the print news, the midweek edition. I'm Wendell, and Esther Daku is here. Do we have any of our panelists from abroad?
No.
Okay. So let's take our break. Let's get word from our sponsor. When we come back, we want to talk about this Richard Cohn thing, and maybe we can spice it up with something else.
Something from Nimba.
Yeah,
Or-
Nimba issue
Nimba.
is
And one
is
thing I
horrible.
also want us to look at is the police IG being called at the House of Representatives.
So
because
true. Those
it
are
also
all
looks
trending. Yeah.
Very important.
All
So,
right. So all the thing that we read this morning is not Esther and myself making.
Mhm.
So if you want to take us to tax, you're taking our institution to tax, then you got to take the newspapers to tax, because we are reading from the newspaper. This is not our own making. All right. What was read or produced by the papers are what we just read for you. So those of you who are listening, if you say you fast, the only thing you're
That
doing
boss.
there, boss.
Robbie, what you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exodus Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh no, Charles, tell me about it.
Exodus Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exodus Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Garland Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Easy, when you want some more provide. So we start to talk. Come on, so going deep and deeper. Put it to each without living sense in her.
It's about musical. There are crowds in many places. In every community, you can see. So if you see crime, report it. Don't tell law in your hands for the right authority. Then it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human target, I mean you check. You work for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. My part of report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it before them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it before them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, old man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it before them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it before them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Oh yes, Crime Stoppers, the people are bringing safety to our doors, and that's a good thing, to keep our community free of crimes. Let's expose the bad people in the community. Let us not hide them. Let's show them to the requisite authorities so that they can have them apprehended. Don't hide criminals in your area, because tomorrow you may be a victim. It's good to expose them.
Mhm.
All right. And today is Wednesday. This is the jackpot Wednesday. People, you'll win your 20K today.
Mm.
20,000 Liberian dollars.
I wish I could play.
Is not a small money for us. We can play. Because our heart can be burning too when you're winning. Yeah, we always say we can be broke, but we hearing people win 20,000, people win 50,000. And y'all know the man who on the show today, after we leave from here, he can t-shirt it. Ibrahim Kamara, the DJ's hero, is coming here at 12:30 to pay out to you 20,000 K. All right, so this is how you play today. This is the code for today. *799 *70 hatch. You play with $1.50 US or with 200 Liberian dollars. The $1.50 US is equivalent to 200 Liberian dollars. But trust me, the more you play, you stand a better chance. If you play 5 times, you play 10 times, you play 15 times, trust me, it's good for you. I'm not saying when you play one time you can win or no, don't get me wrong. But I mean, the more you play, you stand a better chance. So, folks, we are here, and I hope you guys are drinking Pinot Coco. Pinot Coco is the newest to hit the LIB market. They call it Manpower, and it's brought into the country by Exodus Best Price Tour. I wish I could take some, for extra energy, but I'm old now, and I'm not into that. But anyway, we here again. So
Of course, and I
today
can't wait
the lady,
for us to dabble into our conversation.
yeah, let's get into it. And
Okay.
we got too many things to talk about today. Like Esther said, the issue of the Nima senatorial race is on, and there is the battle for the senator position.
I don't see it as just a battle for the speakership. I see it as a battle against women, because when you listen to Rep Koga Wendell,
Mm,
I don't know where this guy is from with that kind of outdated notion. We do not live in a country that has a monarchy form of government where when your father rule, you have to rule after your father. It doesn't make sense to me, because why would you even be making those kind of statements?
mhm.
And this is a democratic government that we live in, and we believe in gender equality. The law says that women should be represented, Wendell.
Yep.
And I believe that in the case of voting anybody into power, it should be based on your legacy, what you were able to do for the people, how much the people believe in you. People should stop running around with tribal, and traditional
Sentiments,
things and
yeah.
all of that. No, it should not be. This is at the level of leadership. We're talking about a senatorial seat in Nima County. Koga, if you want to run your campaign based on something else. Do not use whatever traditional thing you're talking about to push your own points while you're running for the seat. I don't think you telling people that a female cannot cannot replace a Zoe and all that. Who care about Zoe thing right now? We're talking about politics. We're talking about leadership role. So you should stop talking about a female cannot represent a Zoe Wendell, when even the very Zoe who was in power believed in a woman before though he endorsed her as
Yeah.
president of this country,
Mhm.
the first seat in this country. So you cannot come to tell us that this is what Prince Johnson won when we all saw who Prince Johnson was.
That's like you
If you want to run your campaign on something else, because you're just telling all that you are naive. We're not living in the 18th century where you still have that kind of thinking that women are here, and because you are a man, you are here. That's not it. So you're not even doing good to your own
he
campaign
doesn't
bid.
believe in gender equality.
He doesn't.
Because you see, you, Esther, and I
So
here,
much disrespect for
that's
women.
gender equality. All right. This show is not is for a woman and man, that man and woman doing this show here. So we're not two men, or is it two women? So I see why Yeke Koloba said it meant Daddy Prince Johnson body.
Yeah,
Because
jumping all
you
over the
cannot
body to do
go
all
to
kind of racial
campaign.
things.
You cannot go to campaign with these kind of messages.
No.
Talking about a woman cannot replace a soul. Is
Funny.
he more traditional than some of those who are into the race? These are the questions we should be asking. Samuel
telling you.
Koga,
And Wendell,
you want to bring
there are
Madison
poor-
Benin senatorial
there are
thing?
some women that are in the sunny bush that stays outside when the man devil is coming. You know
Mhm.
that, right?
Yeah. So if I were look,
You doing nothing, man.
I'm
You just
just
look like a clown when you're talking that.
this is what I want to say to my brothers and sisters from Nema County. Look, Koga has been one of the longest representative in this country. Let Koga remain to a representative position. We don't want another by-election.
Exactly.
And we need to the National Elections Commission, they need to come up with something, to amend some of the laws they have there, because this man is already sitting as a lawmaker, and he wants to go from representative to senator. Then when he leaves to go to the senator, just in
There's
case
going to be another
then
by-election.
government
We
will
have
be
to
looking
spend
for
money
money.
again.
So the money that we're supposed to be looking for to put drugs into the hospitals, the money that we're supposed to be looking for to bring in more public transportation, the money we're supposed to be looking for to build roads, to build marketplaces, and build more hospitals, we'll be looking for it to do another by-election. So my brothers and sisters, my fathers and mothers of Nimba County, let Koga remain to his representative position. There are other names into the race. Look, we need women representation. I'm not blowing no woman horn here, but to be frank with you, I'm one person. I believe in gender equality.
Wendell, I
I don't want to preach. I'm not preaching for Edith Ware Gonglo.
exactly.
No.
Mhm.
But what is hurting me for this man who have been representative for more than 9 years or more than 12 years, he wants to be senator. What difference is he going to make there? So let's concentrate on other people and forget about
Because
Koga.
yes, exactly. If you want to promote somebody, Wendell, for
Mhm.
example, right here at Freedom, you want to promote somebody, you must first of all see their workings.
Exactly.
What is Koga doing in his district?
Yeah.
Is Koga fully representing the people of that district? Because these are the questions we want to ask, Wendell. And I don't even think this man is educated, because no educated man, Wendell, who knows, about civilization will be saying what he's saying.
That's the word.
It tells
that's
us
the
that
word,
he's an
civilization.
illiterate,
Yeah.
Wendell.
Mhm.
Why would you say that?
The country will find
So
ourselves.
much degrading women. What is that? Is that the only way you can run your campaign?
That is same thing.
You will only turn a lot of us against you. That's what you would do.
That
Because
is-
I believe there are women in your district. If you do not have respect for them, why would they want to go to the line to vote you in?
Mhm.
Why would they want to do that?
So it's a wake up call to the women, to the women of Nema County.
I went to Bomi, Wendell. I went to Bomi in 2023. I went to Bomi
Mhm.
and I met a clan chief who is a lady. So why are they not saying she's a lady? She's supposed to be
The
clan chief.
with all the men that were in
With
Bombay.
all the men in Bomi, exactly. An
Mhm.
Islamic region.
Yeah,
She's a lady and she's a clan chief.
yeah.
I was shocked when I saw it, because in most of the Islamic
Mm.
communities, they don't allow women to be at that level.
Exactly, because they
And I was
believe in her
like,
ability.
okay.
Yeah.
This is good.
Mhm.
Because people should not be placed in position because you are a man or you are a woman. Everybody got their own ability.
Esther, that is same thing Koga Bosman is doing to his wife, Richard Kuhn. Yeah, because they don't respect women.
Okay,
The man, he's talking about Zoe business. We're talking about people who will represent, who will make impact in the lives of the people of Nema County.
Right.
Then you bring in Zoe business inside. What's Zoe business? What's Zoe got to do with
The man said that in
representation?
the bush there. You're sitting
Yeah.
there more. You're
So
sitting
this is a
in the
wake up
bush, so
call to the women then
on
who will
that side,
join.
women can-
The only women then that are
When you
supposed
reach
to go
50,
vote
you
for the
start
man
voting for
must
your
be his
husband.
sister, then his cousin,
What
then
is
then.
that?
But that nonsense. That is same thing the man boss man, the man who is supporting. He ain't a woman, they join, they get property together. I know for how many years now he collecting the rental fees. He's not sharing with the woman. He's not telling the woman anything
He's the man.
because he say he's the man. No woman been there yet.
What
Anything
will
I
we
do.
say? He's the man.
So you continue to suppress the woman,
He feels
suppress the
like he
woman,
got-
suppress the woman, suppress the woman until the woman said now she said she tired.
Mhm.
This thing I gotta go to the court. When the court will settle my husband and myself, Bennett, a
And
one that votes
it's
will go into
disgraceful.
it.
You have so
But we cannot
many
have a
sources of
joint.
income,
We
Wendell.
cannot
Why
have
would you
a
be greedy like
joint
that?
property, and you alone just benefiting from the property. That's what Kun is doing to his wife.
Mhm.
No wonder why the man who supports Kun is downgrading women.
So that's how they think.
You know, So they have that same mentality.
Mhm.
You know, these guys, Richard Kuhn. That's what I was saying the other day. I said, Richard Kuhn, who is a professor at the university, what is he teaching there? I mean, I know he cannot teach anything about integrity because he doesn't have it.
Exactly, Wendell. And what is he teaching his daughters?
Yeah.
Is he telling his daughters that when they get married tomorrow, that whatever they achieve with their husband can leave, and then everything stays with him, and they go like they've never had anything in
Yeah.
their lives? Is that why you're teaching your daughters? Because it's not just about somebody's daughter you're doing it to. You
Yeah.
got kids you're raising.
Yeah.
Do you want the same to happen to them? So these are the questions you
Look,
ask yourself when you're taking these kind of stance.
Some insight I know about Richard. If I say it on this radio, people will just think I want to go personal, but I don't want to go that route
Mhm.
because there are deep things I know about Richard Cohen. All right, Richard knows me very well. His late mother, his sisters. He had a sister who used to play football, but she passed. All right, so I don't because Richard is a very arrogant guy. That's the kind of person he is. The man is so desperate for the speakership that he doesn't want to go and do the right thing. He want to get the speakership by all costs. So people not recognizing him as speaker. He's so mad. He's so vexed. Look at what is going on. The Supreme Court is coming out to say, look, you'll do the right thing. We're not saying or what they call him Fonati is clean. If you get any bad things on Fonati, you want to remove him because you feel the kind of things you got on him. He doesn't fit the position to represent you. You go to session and you do the right thing. Get the numbers and put him out of the system. You know? Then another thing is you get law. What kind of law in this country that allows lawmaker to drive a car without a license plate?
Axel.
Let it quote that law to us. Because the policeman, his work is to pull over a vehicle that he's not satisfied with when that vehicle is plying the route. You see a car and the car doesn't have a plate. You pull the car over. But that's the kind of country. Because you know what? The Gregory Coleman, he intimidates these police. He's my friend. I will say it here. Because most of the guys can call when they're doing their job. They will call Gregory Coleman, and Gregory Coleman will suspend Sonny because there are big guys that call him. So what you got a traffic police officer on the street for? If you wanted to arrest these vehicles and impound them when they don't have legitimate documents, what do you have them on the street for? You place them there to do their job. But as soon as small thing happen, they will take telephone, they call Gregory Coleman, then Gregory will come out and say, go home and go and disrobe yourself. You're intimidating the police officer, so the guys are scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other man see a lawmaker driving a vehicle without a license plate, and now they say you go to a friend and you go tell a friend, one policeman misbehaved on me. And I believe that policeman treated him with courtesy.
Exactly.
But because
No police officer will see a lawmaker and disrespect you.
These guys are so
that.
They are so greedy. They feel they're so Anthony Williams and all Anthony Williams of yesterday. Anthony Williams, today lawmaker, he say he's something.
Look, man,
Why you guys so mess up in this country?
The men are representative, please.
Leave that representative thing. These guys, some of them, they ain't ready fit to be representative. That the same thing when we're talking, when you want to elect people, you elect them based on what they have done. The legacy, what they have done for you in your district, in your community. Not because they can't give you one bag of rice, you eat it, and you go vote for them. At the end of the day, you are not fully represented. That's what is unfolding in our country. People, you play your cash giveaway, I saw you win your $20,000. The code for today is *799 *70# $1.50 US or $200 give you $20,000. And from what I'm seeing here, the listing before me, this guy is supposed to pay out $100,000 up to 2 o'clock. So Abraham Kamara will be at 12:30. So you'll keep playing. But the thing what happening in the country is sometimes, Gregory, don't allow these politicians to use the police. Gregory Coleman, a friend and brother, Gregory, do not allow the politicians to use the police.
Mhm.
They are intimidating the police every day. No wonder why the police is having bad name out there.
Exactly.
Because they were the same thing. Richard Kunde, he said you broke into the representative car. A police officer who's supposed to be respecting the law sat there and listened to somebody who is not supposed to take order from.
Exactly, Winter. And that's how it then. Winter, I was coming to town one other time. Was it last year after we did registration and all of that?
Mhm.
So the police stopped us, asked us for our documents. We gave the document. You know, they got some kind of online stuff they can go through to
Yeah.
validate whether your document is actually in the system and
Mhm.
stuff. So when the guy tried, he could not find our stuff in the system. And so he asked us to park off the road that whoever that did the registration, the person did not complete the process and thing. And so I was mad, Winter, because I went to do the registration, right? Even though I didn't stay on the line, I used somebody who sits right behind his desk and he's the one responsible to do the work, did my work, gave my paper to me, gave me my sticker, I stick it on the car and all of that. And then you stopping me and telling me that my stuff is not in the system. So what do you expect me to do about it?
Who's responsible for that?
So we went back and forth. We parked the car off the road and we talked to him. We left the driving lessons with him and a document that we will get back to him. Before we come out of town, we're going to reach to the office and stuff. And when we got to the office, the guy who did his stuff, we went straightly to him. You know, back and forth, that kind of argument and stuff. And the man said, but he did it work. And we went back. Later on, the police officer, first of all, the guy refused to answer the call. We called him back and forth, back and forth. He was not picking his call to tell us whether the document he gave us is valid or not. Because you can put us in that kind of problem. We're not pay our money, and then you give us fake document. And so the police officer called us back. You know, it was a mistake. You could see that when he was telling us that it was a mistake, that it was actually not in the system, but he got some kind of call for one of somebody who maybe threatened him. And so he had to let it be like that.
Yeah.
Before we later did follow up and were able to actually enter it in the system, it was not in the system. But the police officer was afraid because his boss called him. I'm sure.
So
somebody
you see,
from up court, he could see that, you know.
Yeah, so
he knew that it was not right.
So you see, when you
it's
pull,
sad.
when
you
you
don't
pull,
run country like that.
When you pull you pull a vehicle over, you first thing first, you ask the driver for all of his particulars. Do you have your driver license? Do you have this other document? What's your insurance? What's your this? What's your that? You know, like day before yesterday, it was on the Monday, right? Day before yesterday was on the Monday. When I got to Town, this police officer just came in from the car and said, "Give me your license." So I said, "Why are you requesting my license?" He said, "I'm a police officer. I can ask for your license." So I said, "I'm a taxpayer. I'm a Liberian. So if I violate, you tell me that you can request my license, So what did I do that you are requesting my license?" And say, "Oh, a police officer." So we're only until the king, they saw me and they said, "Oh, my man, let the man go." I said, "Oh, let the man go. You were supposed to be here. Well, you're going to be here whole day. Then we'll be talking. What my license? I'm a citizen. What my license? I'm a citizen." Because some of the police too, they got their own problem. We do agree. But most time, Gregory Coleman will allow these politicians to use the police, intimidate them at the end of the day. Like one of the guys, Eric, right now, is going through pain from the same Gregory Coleman because the guy was trying to effect an arrest, and the person probably had some contact with Gregory, and they called Gregory. Gregory had to tell Eric to stand down. Let's go to the phone lines and take some calls, folks. Too many things to talk about this morning. Anthony Williams for Maryland County District Number 2, the guy who beat the former Speaker Buffer Chambers, is the one who is in the news now with the police, and he won't use power now and all that kind of thing. Anthony Williams, you know what place you're coming from. Anthony Williams, you know what place you're coming from.
You know, Windsor, that's the thing about, I don't want to bring the countrymen down, but that's the thing about people who have never experienced certain kind of things in their life.
Yeah.
The moment they have it, Windsor, you can rest. I have one neighbor like that. When I'm entering the yard, his car music can be on the loudest. You'll be way in your bathroom.
Yeah.
It just tells you who that person is. People who have not acquired these things, people
All a lawmaker, he
The
saw the
moment they
small
have it,
air
Buddha,
fresheners.
everybody got to know. Why everybody will not know now?
You know the small air
And they gotta
they got a small air freshener thing.
They gotta show it
Once in a while, it shoots out. You know, it's in a little can. It's designed a way where you have to put the fluid there, and then you set it in your office. All right, just it has a nice fragrance. After a few minutes, you will hear pop. It will shoot out the fragrance.
Tell me somebody.
This lawmaker, if I'm lying, this lawmaker went to the office and saw this thing in the office. You know what the guy said? He said, "Wow, I need to buy this small air conditioner. It's nice. Can you imagine that?"
We not love man.
I'm serious. I'm serious. And every one of us, we just look at each other. We're like, "You mean this guy's calling this air freshener air conditioner?" Oh my God. Let's no. We just left it at that. I say you want buy it until we are the correct little on sitting in air conditioner about that air freshener here. That the modern type here. You know the one way you can get. Well, let's take some calls. We gotta go from here. We have 20 more minutes. You'll keep playing the Freedom Cash giveaway. Dial your star 799 hash, star 799 star 70 hash. Put your 200 Liberian dollars or your $1.50 and win your 20K. So we have the WhatsApp line for those of you outside Liberia, +231 886 42 1371. Is the WhatsApp line that puts your calls through on the show, +231 886 42 1371. Our local line 0776 104 104, 0770297016 for the female callers, and 0886 500 104. All right. So if you don't have the time to call, you can drop your comments. We'll get to Esther to read out the comments in the next 10 minutes. So we are anticipating your calls. Let's go to the phone lines and take our first caller. All right. Right. Let's see. Okay. 0776 104 104, 0886 500 104. And the WhatsApp number is +231 886 42 1371. This caller. Hello? You want to partake on the show, you have to reduce the volume of your radio. Go ahead. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Stephen Wigney. I'm calling from the Toro of Nigeria.
Let's hear you.
The ship discussing, for example, police. Let's tell me if one of people can carry yesterday. I'm going to drive sometimes. The embarrassment we get it from the street, from the police officer there. Because you don't see now, the special of lesson, he may ask them, this violation. That's simple. You say, oh, your lesson. What you better do? They say, all right, the passion you get out for the ticket. Just like that, for embarrassing us too much. Not for embarrassing us. Is that you, man?
Okay. My brother, thank you. Let's speak out the ill so we can correct them together.
All right.
Thank you very much. Let me take this person. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, my dear sister. How are you this afternoon? Go ahead, Gina. You have 1 minute to make your contribution.
Thank you so much. The institution are responsible to regular life, particular issues. If they still, other people will be lost because to who dare to make law and make law. If you are breaking the law, it means that you more than a struggle. So we can take it so much. If you see the law is dragging one person to another, only because they see that the law must exist and be respected. And if anything, be that the president or deputy minister or whosoever you are in the society, you must respect the law of the country. That will make you to be a good citizen. And if these guys continue to break the law, it means that they make our country vulnerable. So thank you for calling me the time.
Thank you, Jeanette. Let's talk to another person. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
I'm Jerry Gibson from Lupita.
Go ahead, Jerry. Let's hear you.
You said certain things that is represented. They are now people that
We are listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah. We need those representative or senator. They should start the money too much for them, so they misbehave on people in the community. Look at our representative getting or looking down. All the community ruling, they not get down for no, even the government on that okay, so even pay for it, so pay or talk to kind of discard up story for that big. So people that want to make them, they'll educate our citizens. They will go to representative money, the business of money should drop. So even if on the second moment, because they will focus. But if you want for 1 week, they don't do that. So I can money for because that money that is that people in the
Okay.
they can't help the people. So I beg you. Let us drop the representative money or senator money. It will help that girl.
Thank you. Let's talk to this person. Hello.
Yeah. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine. Welcome to the show. Tell us your name and tell us what do you make of the court case involving the regime speaker and his wife and other issues we talk about. Let's hear you.
Okay. You know, the issue, first of all, I'm pretty speaker, we have to work for it for us. Okay, first and intellectual forum.
Go ahead.
You know, the issue, let me just deal with our national police.
Okay.
There are some of them, they are not really, trained to even check on people document. Can you imagine? I went to register with people, I have my document, everything went to Bata. The court gave me receipt, they tell me, say, anywhere you go, because it's in process already. Anywhere you go, show it, then they will allow you to go. I show that receipt to that guy, the minister, they don't want to see that way, want to see it. Look at this, my brother. And the delay my time, I had to pack my ticket. I went to Mission Taco. I get my document before this, So these guys on there, they are not very trained.
Okay.
And the harassment, the two are going to us. We, the taxi driver, the keke rider, even renters. One of these days, they'll just come, and also guys, they went to the one there. When they just brought this kid, they call PCC. Those kind of complete embarrassment they bringing to us.
Thank you. Complete embarrassment they are bringing to us, and let's keep the calls coming in. Let's hear from our people. Those trending issues. Shortly, we'll go to Esther to read out the comments for us. Let's talk to this person. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nimne, and good afternoon to you, Esther.
Hussein, welcome to the show. But before you go further, I just want to say this to you. You know, you one person I hold with high esteem, right? The last time you called and said you was going to provide for us evidence surrounding the vehicles that was bought by the president. We still waiting for that document. We told you, Hussein, before we allow you on the show, you have to bring that document. So we're still waiting. So please do the needful. Hussein, you told us, I still got the recording. You told us that the vehicle was registered in the EPS and the executive mansion name. So we're still waiting for it.
Yeah,
until you can provide that before we continue with you on this show. I'm being frank with you, Hussein. Seriously, we're talking serious issue that affects all of us as a country. Let's talk to you. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nim.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Okay. Thank you for offering me the opportunity to explain. Well, my name is Mohammed Don Sana, and I'm doing something for the Mother Drive area. My concern this afternoon is about the election in Lima County.
Okay.
I want to tell Samuel Koga to leave Musa Melete alone ever is Matingo Day. Matingo Day is a Matingo Day. He should leave that quality like in the account. First of all, we are not in competition with this man, but we know that Honorable Musa Bede want to win that session. Clear. So some of is just on phone. He just makes phone patients out of 6 messages in the account is talking about Matingo. But it's discussing Matingo. But it's saying Matingo for. We shouldn't do that. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your contribution. Let's I don't know, but let's see what we can bring in. This caller DePero wants to join the conversation. Let's see what we can bring in. Let's give DePero some time to speak on this issue. Right after DePero, we can go to Esther to read the comments out for us. All right, so Salia, welcome to the show. Yes, welcome, my brother. Let's hear your contribution. Hello? Salia, are you there? You are very low this morning. I don't know why. Okay, I think you better now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say good morning to you and Esther and the Liberian people. I just want to speak on one thing that will be concerning Koga nonsense that is spewing out in the counties. I don't blame Koga. I blame the people that elected such a man. The Liberian people need to stand up and reduce the terms of these people. The president needs to get 4-year term. The representative needs to get 2, the senator 6. Then these people will be serious with them. If you give man a Koga 2 years, he'll be very serious. Somebody spent 13 years in the house as representative. I don't know how many laws he sponsored by himself. They will always tell you, I co-sponsor a bill, I co-sponsor a bill. But co-sponsoring a bill is something that somebody bring a bill and you follow them, like, I join the motion. You don't bring the bill and then you pass it around over there talking about, tradition. When has tradition become a prerequisite to become a senator in a country? Koga is poorly educated and he's giving it to the Liberian people. And the government too, I don't believe that. They don't know their priorities. You need money. Then you want to sponsor a man that spent 13 years. We don't even know his tangibles to become senator. And then buy election. But I don't believe Koga too. I believe even Gongo were brothers. I need them to stand up to this bully. Koga is a bully. He's bullying our lady. Where Gonglo where and they got Tiago Gonglo, they need to stand up to the food called Koga. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Salia. Let's go to Esther. Esther, please, let's get to the comments and then we take the few minutes to go home.
Of course, quickly. Salia Soni says, good morning, Freedom Family. Abraham B. Kruman says, I'm following from the Islamic Youth for Intellectual Exchange at the Iron Factory community.
I think these were the guys that called yesterday and made a pledge. They were to send anyway, but let's go ahead.
Cecilia Masakwe says, watching from Norway. Good morning, Winda and Esther. Thanks for all. Thanks to you for all the good job and you are doing
for the country, right?
Job you all are doing for Mama Liberia. Sorry, Cecilia Masakwe. Let me take that. Watching from Norway. Good morning, Winda and Esther. Thanks to you all for the good job you are doing for Mama Liberia. T. Edmond Toy says, good morning, Winda and Esther. Thanks for the show. I'm watching from Minnesota. Robert G. Paswa, I think that's Philip Paswa, says, hey, Big Winda, Nime and Esther. We are Freedom. And Mohammed Mariam Sharif says, good morning, Winda, Esther, and the peace-loving people of Lofa County. I am watching from Mamadi Diakite Intellectual Forum in Jacob Town, St. Francis community. April Fools was named after rescue mission. We will bring jobs, reduce rice prices, cancel harmonization. No one will suffer. Not take private jet or not drive bulletproof car. Fix UL children will not sell in the streets. So April Fools. And we have Puchi says, I'm watching from Motor Corner, Breville City, JNB. Please rescue us. George Money, we are 2029, Sierra 1 2029. We have Mary Tule says, good morning, my Freedom FM family. I'm following you from New Georgia Estate. Thanks for the great show. We have Sajuma SK Kamara says, good morning, Freedom FM. I'm watching you guys from Spain, Barcelona. We are 2029. We have Salia Sony. He says they can be separated and be in the same house, Esther. The court will share these properties between them if it's proven that they acquired them while together as husband and wife. And Salia Sony says, let Cyrus shut his mouth. These are the tribal bigots in the House of Senate in Liberia. When last has he spoken against the many ills in his uncle's government? These guys from my mother's county are tribalistic politically. And Clarence Stewart says the court should have sentenced this lawless thing who claimed to be speaker to 25 years imprisonment. Seriously? Clarence, yes. You okay, imprisonment with hard labor, demanding 35K from that rogue is like a joke. This guy has gotten over $5 million since he became the regime speaker. James S. Keller says Liberian people will learn next time they would not vote for a Sierra Leonean man. You left your own native brother and elected a 90-year-old Sierra Leonean grandpa. And y'all will learn the hard way. The things that make y'all to elect the Sierra Leonean old man as president of Liberia. And a 90-year-old grandpa. I think we're done with that. Salia Sony says, I told you guys that Koga is a functional illiterate who's poorly educated. Listen to his language. Very much, Salia. Very much. I agree with you. Brabby Empire says, good morning, Freedom FM. Cherished listeners following live from Bushville Island, Monrovia. Yesterday, it was a shameful event on Benson Street. A whole president in Joseph Nima Boaka visiting, and people were seen moving normally without cheering him. In 1 year, he has become more unpopular, more disgracefully. A rescue journalist was forcing the fruit sellers to cheer the president. It was if it was president, we are making a stop. Their traffic was being blocked. President Weah is a born leader. Salia says Koga can only work in a worse. I don't know what is that. Here in the US with such your pump thinking. And Clarence says the people of Liberia shouldn't be taken by surprise when the House of Lawlessness members summons all the health practitioners and demand them to hurt all medical services to ordinary people. If they can summon Joseph Boaka, Pink Lip Police Director, because one of Clarence, please leave me alone, please. I can be reading and be laughing. Yeah, I ain't even completing your comment. Let me
please,
pass.
Clarence, let's don't address the IG in that form of minor, please.
President Boaka went to buy at Benson Street Market to get the public reactions towards his bulletproof car to see whether Monserrate County that voted him still loves him. But I don't know why. Iman Krai didn't tell his Benson Street people to gather at the market to cheer our president. Gay Gadi passed away says, hi, I can't believe I'm missing this show while here.
Hey, Kati, what's up?
Yeah. Progress Orita Johnson says Liberia has politicians and not police. Salia says Esther was your neighbor a crewman. I am very sure that meant a crewman.
What did the crew people do again?
Because with what used to make me, tolerate him a little bit because he's a very religious follower of freedom. So when I go home in the evening by 4 like that, I can't show be on very. I mean, I can be in my bathroom and listening to Karen. I'm telling you, that is it. But Kid Gadi, okay, we're done with that. And James Keller says, you're elected these Bush men and women in power, and this is what you get. Esther was your I've read that already. Esther was your neighbor a good man, or you are a friend of Wendell. Progress Orita Joseph says, I blame Honorable Kofa for supporting Anthony F. Williams against Honorable Chambers. But the wrath of God will visit Honorable Williams for putting my county, Maryland, in the news for the bad reason. And Gabriel Nama says Koga is actually an 11th grade dropout. Gabriel, how you got that information? Good morning, Uncle. Watching from Minnesota. We have Peter
Is
Lynn
that
Peters.
Michelle?
Michelle, dude,
Yeah, my nephew. How are you, Michelle?
Peter Lynn Peters says, good afternoon, Freedom Family, following you guys from Congo Town. Boaka government has failed the Liberian people. And son of KOK says, the old man was showing up with his new car, I tell you. JMB went to tease these ungrateful people with their bulletproof Lexus. I hope he makes the sound very loud. So far, these are all the comments we have.
Okay, so folks, on that note, this is how we go home. But before we go again, we want to update you. You know, yesterday we had a little girl in our I'm sorry, the family of the little 6-year-old girl who was sodomized and raped by a 48-year-old man. Fund was raised for her on the show yesterday, and the money was given to the family to take her to the hospital. And according to what we learned, she was taken to the JFK, but they told the family that the drugs that they're supposed to give to the child was not into the country. And so she was referred to another doctor, and the doctor promised them to be there this morning. So that's the update. I'm quite sure we have more updates for you when they leave from where they were to go to this morning. So that's the update. Again, we say a big thank you to all of you for being a part of this midweek edition of the show. We'll be here, God's willing, tomorrow on the What's on Your Mind segment of the print news. My name is Wendell Nimne, and Esther Daku was here.